The Press Club of India has cancelled Director Vivek Agnihotri's press conference, which was to be held on the 5th of May. Agnihotri has alleged that due to the objection of powerful media persons who threatened to quit if the conference was allowed, the event was called off. Now he'll hold an open house press conference on the 5th of May. That's the same day at Janpath in Delhi. Earlier, the Foreign Correspondents Club in Delhi had cancelled the same event. Now BJP's Amit Malviya has tweeted on Vivek Agnihotri. He says, in India, ironically, the self-appointed purveyors of free speech and media bodies are the ones who censor free speech. FCC and PCI cancelling the press interaction of Vivek Agnihotri, producer of Kashmir Files, is a case in point. The movie is a huge success despite these people. Let me go across to Arun Dhanta for more details. Arun, first of all, do we know the reason that has been stated by either the press club or FCC for the cancellation of this press conference by Vivek Agnihotri?
Well, the communication between both Vivek Agnihotri's team and the Press Club of India was going on, and in fact, on his Twitter we have seen he was sharing all the details about the bookings and the money that his team has paid to the Press Club of India. Now, what PCI is saying that there is no press conference allowed on the 5th of May in the
Arun, just hold on to your thoughts.
PCI.
Let me go across to Amit Malviya. He's joining us on the phone line now. Amit Malviya, you just tweeted with regards to the cancellation of Vivek Agnihotri's press conference. Do you think that this is a case of muffling free speech? Is that what you're suggesting by your tweet?
Oh, of course it is. It is definitely a case of putting out a voice that represents an alternate ideology, an ideology different from yours. Kashmir Files is a hugely successful movie, and it has become so despite these people blocking out the press interaction of Vivek Agnihotri, both at the Foreign Correspondents Club and now the Press Club of India. But should media bodies and self-appointed custodians of free speech be the ones doing it? That is the big question. What kind of a hypocrisy is this? What kind of double standards is it?
Amit Malviya, on another note, it is often said that controversy for filmmakers augurs well for them. It gives them more eyeballs. Could this be a case, one such case where Vivek Agnihotri could perhaps use it to his advantage on the other hand?
The movie has already made 350 crores worldwide. It is the most successful movie in terms of return on investment made in the history of Indian cinema. So I don't think these kind of small controversies is what he needs to get his message across. He's done a fabulous job of that, and people have taken up whatever he had to show. But this shows the pettiness of the people who sit in Indian media or a section of it and pontificate to the world on free speech. But when the rubber hits the road, they're the ones who actually go all out to muzzle free speech and expression.
But he can hold a press conference anywhere else, which he's now doing. He's holding an open press conference now at Janpath. Isn't it even better?
It's not about whether it is better or not. It is about the fact that the Foreign Correspondents Club and the Press Club of India, the two prominent media bodies in this country, whose chairmen and members come with several years of journalistic experience, have actually cancelled out a filmmaker because he had a story to tell which was unpalatable for them. That is the important point.
All right. Amit Malviya, many thanks for joining us with your perspective there. In fact, our viewers can call us in now and share their views on this particular issue. Vivek Agnihotri blocked cancel culture killing free speech. Is it? Call us in on the number that is now flashing on your television screens. Meanwhile, let me go back to Arun Dhanta. Arun, you were explaining whether there has been any clarification from Press Club of India or FCC. Give us more details.
Well, so I was talking about the communication which happened between the team of the Press Club of India and also the Agnihotri side. Now what they are saying is that they have paid the fees for it, they have taken the time for this press conference, but on the other hand the response which is coming from the PCI is that there was no advance booking from the Vivek Agnihotri's side, and in fact even if somebody go for a booking, then that needs to happen through a member who's a member of the Press Club of India. That's what the reason why they have not given permission for this press conference in the premises of PCI. Now as far as the foreign correspondent club is concerned, we haven't heard anything from their side, but even in their premises there is no permission for this press conference. Now as you rightly mentioned that he is going to hold that open press conference tomorrow, and he's saying that there are some section in the Press Club of India which is trying to muzzle the voice of those who believe in certain section of society, and therefore there's a tacit understanding between those people who are blocking this press conference, and therefore this is happening with him. And we've just heard Amit Malviya coming up and supporting Vivek Agnihotri, saying that those people who talk about free speech and other things, they are the ones who are blocking this press conference of Vivek Agnihotri.
Arun, stay on with us. Arun, let me quickly go across to the first caller. Murthy is calling us in from Chennai. Murthy, go ahead.
Madam, just now I saw the Vivek Agnihotri program has been seized as such.
Yes, go ahead. What is your
what
are your views on it?
Yes, ma'am.
What are your views on the fact that the press club and the foreign correspondent club is not allowing him a press conference?
No, because already it is the mass media is already from the Prime Minister to Member of Parliament taking the matter issue. Now why he is interacting with the Daya to share his views in the common public, again inflammable situation is creating. I don't think so. At this stage we got many things to have to discuss, because this is not that much effective to the for him to give any credit or something like that.
All right. So you feel that he's trying to take credit at the moment, whereas this is a sensitive issue and should be dealt as such. Many thanks, Murthy, for sharing your views with us. Let me go across now to our two guests who are joining us here on the show. Aashutoshsrivastava, he's a lawyer in the Supreme Court, and Mukesh Tyagi, actor and filmmaker. Mukesh Tyagi, I want to come first to you. I want to know from you whether it really hurts a filmmaker if there is a controversy, because sometimes, as was previously said a lot, that filmmakers court controversy to get more eyeballs. Could it be one such case where Vivek Agnihotri could actually utilize this in his favor? After all, the movie that he's made, as is being pointed out, has already done well.
No, I think it's perfectly justified for any filmmaker to augment its revenue through different means. That's perfectly legitimate. But the point here is the Foreign Correspondent Club had accepted the invitation. They had organized the cocktails and all the hospitality for the Foreign Press Club. At the last moment, without any explanation whatsoever, they have cancelled the press conference, and which is very, very unfortunate. They are directly muzzling the whole concept of freedom of speech, and that is something which these guys are championing, like Ayub Rana, who is known for her very, very, dubious propensities to embezzlement. ED had attached, and they are part of this leftist Dhola gang of Khan Market. So this they have been consistently talking against, like Kashmir Files. She wanted to make a film.
I'll interrupt you there, sir. I'll interrupt you there, sir. We'd like to get a better video of yours, so I'll come back to you in just a bit. Let me quickly take in a reaction then from Aashutoshsrivastava. Aashutoshsrivastava, bodies like the Press Club and FCC, is it mandatory for them to go ahead with this sort of a press conference if they have committed to it? Under the law, what guides them?
See, obviously they have certain authorities, but if we consider the wider aspect of the legal terms, then obviously Article 19 of our Constitution gives freedom of speech and expression, subject to compliance to Article 19(2), which talks about certain restrictions and also about the sensitive issues, which is considered that if the peace and order has to be maintained, and if it is seen that there is some certain sensitive issues, obviously they can take such steps, but those steps can be challenged if the provisions have not been complied properly by them. Now, in this particular case, we have to see whether it is only cancelled by the authority, Press Club of India, or even the person who booked it, whether they booked it properly and all compliances have been taken care of by them, or maybe they asked to cancel it. So we have to see. I mean, there could be both the ways a possibility. There could also be possibility that there were certain more facts which they wanted to come up with when they were addressing to the media. That could also be a possibility.
All right. Aashutoshsrivastava, I'll interrupt you there. I want to know if Arun Dhanta is still with us. Because, all right, we'll go across to Arun Dhanta in just a bit, because he was getting us more details about what clarifications so far have come through as to why the press club or the FCC have decided to cancel this press conference by Vivek Agnihotri, which will now be held as an open press conference in Janpath. Mukesh Tyagi is back with us. Mukesh Tyagi, you were making a point about why you feel this kind of cancel culture doesn't augur well for free speech.
You see, first of all, there is no reason. They have explained why they have cancelled this press conference. And that is the one reason. It smacks of some kind of a conspiracy and ideological influence, which is very clearly and very conspicuous that leftist ideology is dominating this elite club, the Khan Market press club, the Champion, the press club. So these guys are very, very uncomfortable with the current dispensation. They are not letting anything happen, any counter narrative, because there is some hidden agenda. Maybe she is retaliatory. She is known for her retaliatory steps because ED had attached her money. So there is a whole lot of, if you see the circumstantial evidence around, and consistently the way they had projected Mr. Modi as divider-in-chief. So there is a foreign correspondents are somehow anti-ruling dispensation, and no wonder they are just taking a U-turn. These are the first amendment champions.
All right, so let's clarify exactly why this step has been taken by the PCI and FCC. Arun Dhanta is back with us. Arun, I want you to once again lay out for us whether any clarifications have come through. Both our guests would need more clarity on this point.
Well, Maha, yesterday, if I could recall, there was a tweet from the Press Club of India in which they were saying that they require advance booking for any press conference, and secondly, if that comes, that should come through a member of the Press Club of India. So they are saying there was no request on behalf of any member from the side of Vivek Agnihotri's team. But if you see the tweet of Vivek Agnihotri, he was he has put out all the details, like a slip which they have charged him of 20,000, and also the chat which perhaps the team of PCI had with his team. So all these details he had put out in his tweet, and in fact PCI's tweet I also just explained to you. So these are the things which there is no clarity as to what exactly happened. But if you go by the official Twitter handles as to what they are saying, then both versions are in public domain, and it seems that both are blaming each other.
Arun, anything that the FCC has said?
Well, there is no response from their side as of now. Perhaps now the controversy is escalating. Perhaps we'll see some sort of response coming from their side. But as things stand at this moment, it appears that both PCI and because, see, if you see Vivek Agnihotri, he's saying that there is a certain lobby, certain section in Press Club of India which does not want to hold this press conference, does not want to allow them hold this press conference there in the premises of PCI. And on similar line, we heard BJP's IT cell in charge, Amit Malviya speaking also. So now, since this controversy is growing up, we'll see different sides are coming out with different versions.
That's right. Arun, many thanks for clarifying that. So I guess both the guests will now have a better idea as to what in public domain the various players in this case have placed. But before I go back to my guest, let me go across to another caller. Mrinal is calling us in from Kolkata. Go ahead, Mrinal.
Yes.
Go ahead,
Hello?
we can hear you, yes.
Yes, am I talking to Vivek Agnihotri ji?
No, Vivek Agnihotri is not here on the show, sir. But
Not
you
here.
can make your point,
yeah,
yes.
However, I'm giving my opinion. What Vivek Agnihotri shown in his picture, Kashmir Files, it is much less. What happened in Kashmir? What happened in Kashmir is dangerous. So what I am telling Vivek Agnihotri ji, go ahead.
All right.
I am also from Bangladesh. I am also from Bangladesh, Khulna and Khulna Files, and same way I am suffering. Same way I'm suffering.
So you believe that he should be allowed platforms to speak about his movie. Many thanks, Kunal, for calling us in. Aashutoshsrivastava, I want to come back to you now. The Press Club of India, as Arun Dhanta has pointed out now, is placing technicalities here, saying that the press conference was not booked via a member and therefore they've cancelled it. On the other hand, Vivek Agnihotri has put out in public domain a slip that he had for the advance payments that were made. Do you think that this is only then a question of technicality and that's where it should remain and not be made into a larger case of ideology, or is that what it is?
No, it is unfortunate. I would say that in a democratic country, everybody has the right and to have freedom of speech and expression, and the same was booked with prior booking, advance, everything was received. Now, if the press conference has to be cancelled, they obviously will find one or the other technical reason. But I don't think that suffices the situation. And once they have taken money, whether it is a member or non-member, the question is about the facts to be revealed. Whether it is fact or not, that is a different issue. Yes, there are certain issues that have to be taken in mind whenever one is addressing the people through the press conference. That is a different issue, but one cannot be stopped just by saying the technicalities that a conference cannot be conducted. So obviously there is a clear-cut intentional cancellation which is very much visible. Otherwise, the amounts would not have been received by the non-member.
Aashutoshsrivastava, I want a very brief response from you, and then I'll go to Mukesh Tyagi. If a sensitive issue is involved, which it is over here, as we all know, this case of the movie Kashmir Files, it's the exodus of Kashmiri Pandits is a very sensitive issue, emotive issue as well. Do you think that can be stated as a reason for either of the two, FCC or Press Club of India, not wanting to hold a press conference which could flare up passions if they feel that perhaps it could? Aashutoshsrivastava? All right, we seem to have lost our link there with Aashutoshsrivastava. Mukesh Tyagi, I want to come to you, sir. This movie, as a caller in fact pointed out, saying that it's a very sensitive issue, and sometimes the need of the hour is to use such or play such issues sensitively. In this case, he believes that a movie has been made if a press conference, is the caller who made this point, if a press conference can aggravate the situation, then it is better not to have that. Would you hold that view as well, as a social responsibility of a filmmaker?
Absolutely not. No, absolutely not. Then when the movie Arakshan was released, Mayawati went to the court that said it will flare up the communal sentiments, and therefore the movie should not be released.
You there, sir. I'm sorry because we are getting some updates. This is some breaking news that is coming in.